Welcome in guys to NFL Week 9 recap. We start off with the Jets versus the Colts. The Colts are home on Thursday night, and the Jets could have covered that spread, especially if you're deep in the Colts territory going into the fourth. They could have covered that spread, but it was 30-45 to the Colts. 0-7 in the first with a touchdown by Higgs. Touchdown by touchdown by Griffin, Elijah to make it 7-7 in the first. Touchdown by Colts in the second by Taylor to make it 7-14. Touchdown by Doyle in the second to make it 7-21. Touchdown by the Colts to make it 10-28 in the third. Touchdown by Printer in the third to make it 10-34. Field goal in the third to make it 10-35. And then 16-42 with a touchdown by Moore in the third, and touchdown by Griffiths to make it 23-45, and plus 30-45 Colts win. We have a Titans versus Rams going into the Sunday games. 0-3 in the first with a field goal from the Rams. Stafford got sacked in the end zone. Touchdown by Jeff to make it 7-3 in the second. Touchdown by Titans in the second to make it 14-3 in the second. Touchdown by Tannehill in the second to make it 21-3. Going into the third, 21-6, then 21-9. Touchdown in the fourth by Adrian to make it 28-9 in the fourth. Touchdown by Rams, 28-16, and the Rams win the game. The Titans win the game, so big win for the Titans this week. Then we have the 49ers, who last week beat the Bears, versus the Cardinals, who suffered the first defeat of the season. And this was an easy win for the Cardinals, 17-31 to Cardinals. James Conner had a great game. He had his 11th rushing touchdown of this game. 0-7 in the first from Conner, which he got his 9th and 10th rushing touchdown. Then he got another touchdown going in later on in the game to his 11th touchdown of the season. Then it was 24-7 in the third. Benjamin touchdown in the third to make it 31-7 in the fourth. Touchdown by Brandon in the third to make it 31-14. And then a field goal by the 49ers to make it 31-17 to the Cardinals. Then we go on to the Broncos versus the Cowboys. This was a shock result that they had. The Broncos defeated the Cowboys. I did not see the Broncos defeating the Cowboys. But we had Melvin Jordan had a touchdown in the first, make it 6-0 in the first. Tim Patrick had a touchdown in the second, make it 13-0 in the second. Field goal in the second, make it 16-0 in the second. 28-yard field goal in the third, make it 19-0 in the third. Touchdown by Sutton. He had 2 touchdowns in this game. 27-0 in the fourth. And then 30-8 in the fourth. This is when you had Malik Turner, who had 2 touchdowns in this game, plus 2 points after the touchdown to make it 30-8 in the fourth. Then a 30-14 in the fourth, and then 2 points again with 30-16. And great win for the Broncos. But the Cowboys losing to the Denver Broncos. Then we had the Browns versus the Bengals. This was the first game without Odell Beckham. He's been released from the Browns. Looks like he's going to be on his way to the Packers and join Aaron Rodgers. But anyway, the Browns didn't really miss Odell Beckham because they got the job done. They won 41-16. Touchdown in the first from the Browns, 7-0 on the first. Touchdown by Bangles, 7-7. Touchdown by Chubbs. He had 2 touchdowns, Chubbs, in this game to make it 14-7 in the second. Touchdown by Jones to make it 21-7 in the second. 28-yard field goal to make it 24-7. And a field goal in the third to make it 24-10 in the third. And then a field goal on the Browns to make it 34-10 in the third. Then we had a touchdown in the third to make it 31-10. Touchdown from the Browns in the fourth to make it 41-16 to the Browns. So great win for the Browns. And this was another kind of this was kind of another game. I was like, the Ravens losing to the Vikings. The Vikings are mid. The Vikings are mid. No, like the Vikings are struggling against the Ravens. Sorry, again. The Ravens are struggling against the Vikings. The Ravens got the job done, 34 to 31. 0-3 in the first. 37-yard field goal by Tucker. 7-3 in the first. Kirk had a touchdown. Kirk Cousins had a touchdown in the second. 14-3. 36-yard field goal from Joseph in the second to make it 7-3 in the second. Touchdown by Freeman in the third to make 17-10. Touchdown Vikings in 24-10. Then we have a touchdown in the fourth with a Vikings 31-31. Then touchdown in the fourth with 24-31. And then Tucker has a field goal and gets the final kick of the game, and 31-34 in overtime for the Ravens. Then we have the Bills versus the Jags. I mean, the Bills have been doing pretty good. Like this season they've had and then they lose to the Jags, 6-9 to the Jags. 0-3 in the first, and then a 3-3 field goal in the second, 6-3 in the second. Field goal from the Jags in the second to make 6-6. 22-yard field goal from the Jags in the fourth, making 6-9. Jags win. And then we have the Falcons versus the Saints. The Falcons needed to win this game if they're actually going to get into the wild card this season. They needed to win because they've fallen off quite a bit this season, but they got the job done. Jameis Winston is still injured. 27-25 to the Falcons. 3-0 in the first with a 32-yard field goal to the Falcons. Touchdown for the Falcons to make it 10-0 in the second. Johnson has a field goal to make it 10-3 in the second half to the Saints. Touchdown by Matt Ryan to make it in the third to make it 17-3. 52-yard field goal from Johnson in the fourth to make it 17-6. Touchdown in the fourth by Alvin Kamara to make it 19 plus 2-point conversion to make it 24-19. Touchdown by Cowboys in the fourth to make it 24-13. Then a first and goal in the fourth by Zacharias in touchdown. He had 2 touchdowns, Zacharias, in the game, and it 24-6 in the fourth, and the Falcons 27-25. Then we had this week was kind of a really, like, a shock week for the NFL, especially week 9. Like, you had, I said earlier, you had the Cowboys lose to the Broncos, Bills losing to the Jags, and then you had this game, the Raiders, who had a great season, and losing to the Jets 60-23. Like, it was like a week of like really big, shocking, like, all the teams that you think is gonna go to the Lombardi Trophy come February are losing to these teams. And I know in the NFL you're gonna get a shock defeat or whatever, but the Giants and like whatever. 16-23 to the Giants. 0-7 in the first two from Ingram for the Giants. 7-7 in the first, 24-yard field goal in the second from 10-7. Going into the 37-yard field goal in the second to make it 10-10. 32-yard field goal from Carson in the second to make it 13-10. Touchdown by Giants to make it 13-17 in the third. 25-yard field goal from the Raiders in the third to make it 16-17. 32-yard field goal from the Giants in the third to make it 16-20 in the fourth, and then 16-23 to the Giants. Texans versus Dolphins, 2 bad teams that I didn't care about, but 9-17 the Dolphins. 9-17 the Dolphins get a win. Miles Gaskin gets a touchdown in the first, 0-7 in the first. 40-yard field goal in the second, 6-7 in the second. 42-yard field goal from Sanders in the second to make 6-10. Touchdown by Hollins in the third to make 6-17. 20-yard field goal and from the Texans in the fourth to make 9-17. And we have the Eagles the Chargers versus the Eagles, 27-24. Touchdown by Anderson to make it 7-0 in the first. Touchdown by Eagles by Jordan Howard to make it 7-7 in the second. 24-yard field goal in the second to make it 10-10. Or 7-10, and then 10-10 going into the second half. Then a touchdown from Chargers in the third to make it 16-10. 29-yard field goal to make 27-24. Touchdown by Eagles in the third to make 16-17. Touchdown by Smith in the fourth to make 24-24. Then we have a 29-yard field goal to make 27-24, and a touchdown from Herbert to get the win for the Chargers. Then we have the Packers versus the Chiefs. No Patrick Mahomes, well, no Aaron Rodgers because he's got COVID. So it was the first NFL start for Jordan Love. Jordan Love gets his first NFL start. Here's his first game. I'm not gonna call him out and shit because he's still learning. He's still a young quarterback, and he did struggle in this game. But obviously it's his first NFL start. He's getting used to that from college to NFL. So anyway. 7-0 in the first from Kettle, from 7-0 in the first from Travis Kiesel to the Chiefs. 24-yard field goal from the Chiefs to get 0-10 in the second. 55-yard field goal in the Chiefs in the second. 0-13 in the third. Touchdown from Packers in the fourth to make it 7-13 to the Chiefs. Then we have the Patriots versus the Panthers. 0-3 in the first, in the second from Harrison, 7-3 in the second, 7-6 in the second, 49-yard field goal, touchdown by Henry in the second to make it 14-6 in the third, touchdown by Pats in the third to make it 21-6 in the third, and a field goal from the Pats to make it 24-9, 24 Pats, 6 to the Patriots. Then we had the Monday game. I want to question who on the NFL team, on the NFL, wanted this on primetime TV. This is Matt Nagy's Bears football. This is not Matt Nagy's 3 hours of boring Bears football. Do you really want 3 hours? Well, it's like you did because you wanted it on TV. On prime time. The referee kind of, he did whatever. I know Bears fans like, oh my god, the referee was whatever. But it's 27-29 Steelers. Justin Fields had a great game. I think this is one of his best games he's had this season. And the only thing, I've said this in other NFL recasts this season, the only thing for 2021 is that Justin Fields has a great season. He has to have a good season, and the Bears have to see a good development of Justin Fields and see if he's going to be that dude or not. If he has more performances like he did last night, then he's definitely that dude for Chicago that can, in a couple of years, that can get them to maybe winning their division and challenging maybe for a Super Bowl. But he needs better defense, and the defense should be protecting their young quarterback because when he gets attacked, they should be like, you want a piece of me, just whatever. That's what their matchups should be. But obviously Matt Nagy's the head coach, and he's like, whatever. Anyway, we had 0-7 in the first one, a touchdown from Paris. A Santos 30-yard field goal in the second to make it 3-14. 22-yard field goal in the third to make it 16-14. Then Pat had 2 touchdowns in this game to make it 6 and 20 in the third. Mooney had 2 touchdowns in this game to make it 13 and 20 in the fourth. Field goal in the fourth to the Steelers 13-23, and then 20-23. 20-23 in the fourth, and then a field goal miss from the Bears, and then 27-29 to the Steelers. So that is week 9 of the NFL done. I don't know if I said this earlier in the video, but the spread. Especially in the Colts Giants game, the Colts, I don't like the Giants could have actually, not Giants, the Jets could have covered that spread. In the fourth, they was in a lot of the Colts territory going into the fourth. They could have covered that spread, but yeah. Anyway, guys, leave your guys' thoughts on this week of the NFL in the comments below. What do you guys think about kind of these what the fuck's going on this week? With these like big, like the Broncos winning, and you had the Bills losing to the Jags.